I've competed with DNA many times, and this girl has springs in her legs. Opening up with her first pass.
Whoa!
I don't think she went out of bounds.
If you're on the line, you're still in.
Comes back with double layout. There you see the springs in her legs. Can't seem to quite stick the landings, but she's got some great tumbling.
There was some discussion with the athletes here that the floor was a little hard, but it doesn't seem to slow her up at all. The 24-year-old from Porto Alegre. Brazilian program led by Oleg Ostapenko and Irina Ilyashenka, the Ukrainian coaches who moved several years ago to Brazil and helped revitalize their program. You can see she has taped up heels and ankles. She has been suffering of late from ankle problems. She's the first Brazilian world champion and quite a celebrity in Brazil.
Finishes up with a great double pike.
At 24, the oldest member of the team, and a nice performance for DNA. Now here is Cheng Fei from China. Reigning world champion on this event. Cheng Fei, known to be one of the few gymnasts in the world to perform a Yurchenko with a 2.5 twist. Let's see if she goes for it today. Oh, and she fell. Oh my goodness.
That's not characteristic of her at all.
Incredible in the team final when you can't afford something exactly like that she went for, a very risky vault, but for her, something that's within her capabilities, obviously. What happened?
We see here Cheng Fei definitely gets into the vault a little bit too low on the entry. And where I mean low is her toes are slightly a little bit too arched down, pops up, doesn't get enough rotation to be able to finish this 2.5 twister.
A disaster for China on the first event. The reigning world vault and floor exercise champion Cheng Fei falls. What a shock.
Some great in-bar stalder work here. To a Jaeger. Oh. See there, she messed up her pirouetting. Tries to come back and cover, but it's explicitly a deduction. However, with the new scoring system, having the A panel and B panel, if you've got enough difficulty, it might not hurt you as bad as it used to in the old code of points. All right, finishes up with a good dismount.
Katerina Kramarenko of Russia. The first performer up was Svetlana Kliukina. And the final performer for Russia on the bars will be spectacular Ksenia Semyonova. Dos Santos, 13.925, an uncharacteristically low score. Those shaky landings and looks like those sore ankles are really affecting her ability to stick those landings, Tasha.
I agree. When your ankles are hurting, the last thing you want to do is really dig in for the stick.
And then what a disappointment here. Cheng Fei, 15.025. She scored a 15.95 in the qualifying round. A disastrous start, expecting a score nearly a point higher for China on the vault.
The mistake on vault's very disappointing for China because they've been at the World Cups the last 2 years doing very well. Everyone's saying, China's here to win. China's setting up for these World Championships. And, well, consistency is the million-dollar question for China. They always come out with huge gymnastics, great skills, but there always seems to be some sort of falls here and there that are just like flukes.
You know, you're
Literally
right.
out of
And
blue.
last year we talked about this, and yet they did rally enough to win the team title in last year's World Championships. And I think we all thought, uh-oh, look out. China is going to dominate the sport through the Olympics in their home country, and the rest of the world might as well be planning on second and third place at best. And but that's one of the things. I tell you, when they came up with this 3-up, 3-count format, I didn't like it. But I have to admit, I'm a convert now. I like it. Because, you know, it's just like any other sport. You can be the best team in the world on paper, but you have to perform. And so perhaps that's the beauty of the team final in this new format, is that you have to hit. It doesn't matter if we all acknowledge that you might be a master of the sport. You still have to hit. And I think in many ways it makes gymnastics more like the other sports. Let's say you're the best basketball team in the world, but if your shooting is cold that day, you lose the game.
Exactly.
Simple as that. And so I think in many ways this 3-up, 3-count is good for gymnastics. It certainly creates parity that perhaps doesn't normally exist when you have a little buffer where you can drop one score in the team competition. I like it. Katarina Kramarenko, the 16-year-old from St. Petersburg. She trains in Round Lake, which, of course, is the national training center just outside of Moscow. Qualified to the all-around final. And she's an alternate to the balance beam final here. Well, this could be a highlight of the day. Of course, I hate to say that. You might jinx her, but this young lady does every trick in the book on uneven bars. Ksenia Semyonova. She's 14. She'll turn 15 in October. Youngest member of the Russian team and the best chance for a gold medal on this event. Of course, she'll have to contend with the Chinese specialist there.
In the 2007 Russian Cup, she placed first on the uneven bars. And at the Russian Nationals, she also played first on bars.
Scored 16.325. Any score in that 16 and up range is big time in gymnastics these days. The score for Kramarenko, a 14.85. About a tenth of a point less than she scored in the qualifying round. So a little added pressure on Semyonova to come up with a big score here. Semyonova did just the uneven bars and the balance beam in the qualifying round. Here she goes. Very high Jaeger release.
Beautiful in-bar Stalders. Very aggressive.
Boy, she comes in late, doesn't she? Oh, my goodness. That's a Delchev, invented by Stoyan Delchev, the great Bulgarian gymnast. Boy, she rips.
She's got great form, too.
I love her technique. Oh, nice.
Huge dismount.
Hiked Arabian double front. Yeah, she's fun to watch. Look at, she just wears gauze grips. She doesn't even wear leather hand grips like most of the other gymnasts do with dowels. That's nothing more than wrapped gauze around her finger there.
Every time I see anyone swing on the bars without grips, it just amazes me because, I mean, catching the bar with dowels is difficult, let alone using your bare hand to hold on.
Now, she's just 14. She hasn't figured that out yet, but She also hasn't figured out that what she's doing is extremely hard, so she's fearless as she just rips through this routine. I love her aggressiveness. Back to the vault for China. Zhang Yuyan, 14.925. She was the second up for China before Cheng Fei, who we saw fall. So China had not one stuck vault, and one of them was a complete fall for Cheng Fei. So China will need to pick it up on their best events, which will be coming up, the bars and the beam, if they hope to challenge the very impressive Americans off to a good, confident start on the vault. That closes the first of 4 rotations here at these World Gymnastics Championships. When we come back, the Americans and the Chinese go to the bars, and the other teams rotate as well.
WCSN brings you another defining moment from the championship corner.
And here is the guy, the native of St. Anton, 27-year-old Mario Mat. The gold medal winner at the World Championships only has to preserve a lead of half a second here, and he will win his first World Cup slalom of the season. Last World Cup slalom, he was third in Schladming. After a pair of second-place finishes in Kitzbühel, and he has the lead at the split by a half second. Virtually the same margin he led by after the first run. Mario Mat winding his way to the finish line. The Austrian wins his first World Cup slalom this season by 0.4 of a second here in Garmisch-Partenkirchen.
WCSN.com brings you a winter wonderland.
Let's get ready to take flight.
Pure poetry.
Watch World Championships.
Oh, good God!
Be a part of every world record.
This guy is capable of going really far at any time.
Watch your favorite champions win medals daily. Only at WCSN.com.
Kick. Verb. To thrust out the foot or feet with force. Noun. A feeling of pleasure or marked enjoyment. A thrill. Kick. Also known as a burst of speed at the end of a race.
Into the finish line! All right, he's done it! The gate is down, away they go. Who's got the best start? Oh, it's very tight at the top. Lots of orange shirts up there. Here comes Robinson. He's flying. He did that in the quarterfinals. He's done it again. He's jumped his way into first position. Robinson, if he wins this, he'll win the overall as well. And he will win it. Robinson's the champion.
A single line, etched into space and time, is limitless to some. But to others, it's the edge. Go! WCSN embraces its wild side with athletes willing to put it all on the line for the gold. If you spin it, flip it, jump it, grind it, you'll find it all lands here on WCSN. The Edge. Stay on or falter.
Welcome back to the World Gymnastics Championships. We have a new feature this year. If you have any questions for me, Bart Connor, or Tasha Schweikert as we go through the contest, send us a note to WCSNfan@WCSN.com, and we'll do our best to answer your questions. You see the outstanding score for Ksenia Semyonova for Russia on bars, and because of that terrific score, Russia is in the lead by about 0.2 of a point over the United States. China in third, about 0.6 of a point behind the U.S. and Romania in fourth.
Die Wertung für Jade Barbosa aus Brasilien am Boden 14,675.
In the qualifying round, Russia was the top scoring team on the uneven bars, which was a little bit of a surprise. They are having a resurgence of sorts. Here are the scores: Russia, United States, China, Romania, the top four. And most people feel that when you're looking at medalists, it's going to be Russia, Romania, China, and the United States in a league of their own, and then the rest of the field unlikely to finish in the medals today. You never know with this 3-up, 3-count format. In terms of depth, U.S., China, Romania, and Russia, the four strongest teams in the world. There's no question about it. One surprise is you typically see Ukraine and even Spain in the top teams. They did not do well here at these World Championships, and Spain, in fact, hasn't even qualified for the World Gymnastics or for the Olympics next year in China. And Ukraine, their program, struggling a great deal these days. Inconsistency, lack of funding, lack of coaches, and it showed in their performances here. 0.8 of a point behind Brazil to miss out on make it into the team final. When we come back, we will open up the second of 4 rotations here live from Stuttgart. Don't go away, folks.
WCSN brings you another defining moment from the championship corners.
And the champion is doing it again. As easy as you like. Good battle for second and third and fourth. But it is Phelps, lofty second. Moving through Marin in third place ahead of Maluli. Well under world record pace at the 350. He's going to do it again. Superman. On his way home, Michael Phelps in the 400 individual medley. He has slaughtered the world record line here. Phelps, a smooth, rhythmical stroke. The Baltimore Bullet does it again. It's number 7. And a world record. Phelps, the magician. Superman does it again.
Ever since the dawn of man, or shortly thereafter, men have claimed Monday night. Not anymore. It's Ladies' Night on WCSN, a Monday night tradition. Whether it's the women of downhill or the grace of gymnastics, Ladies' Night boasts the 2-for-1 special. Women in sports and the sports women love. So if you're the type of woman who'd rather cycle than shop, grab the remote, because now Monday nights are for the ladies too. Ladies' Night every Monday night on WCSN.
And this is the Canadian Eric Gay, the 25-year-old from Quebec. Split time approaching, and Gay has bettered that by 0.2 of a second. Now he's lost that lead. He trails by 0.02, but there is some time to be found on the bottom of this course. Eric Gay has found the time, and he's found the lead. By half a second, the Canadian moves into first.
Welcome back to the 2007 World Gymnastics Championships. I'm Bart Connor along with Tasha Schweikert. The young women from Great Britain finishing their warm-ups. The star of the Great Britain team, Beth Tweddle, not competing today. She is being rested for a shot at an all-around and individual event championship here. The British felt that it was a good opportunity to give some experience to some of their younger performers who will likely contend in next year's Olympics, and that They held out Beth Twiddle, surprisingly, but their coaches felt that they weren't necessarily going to improve upon their chances of winning a team medal today, so why not give the opportunity for some experience to some of their younger performers.
Here's Aileen Williams on floor. Opened up with a full in and literally landed out of bounds. That's going to be a huge deduction. Two and a half twister. Right at the line. Aisling is 17. She was third in the all-around at the 2007 British Championships and second on this event.
A pretty respectable 14.5 in day one of competition here. Whoa.
Aisling for her third pass. Oh.
Well, that wasn't what Great Britain needed in their first performance. Out of bounds and a fall. A fall in these days is now 0.8 of a point deduction.
Am Boden sahen wir Aileen Williams, Großbritannien.
Prepping the bars for He Ning from China. For those of you who are not familiar with watching gymnastics, you realize this is a 4-ring circus, 4 events going on simultaneously, so the cameras are cutting from routine to routine, trying to show us the most gymnastics they possibly can. He Ning, the 16-year-old, the youngest member of last year's gold medal winning Chinese team. Oh, isn't that something?
Beautiful. L-grip giant to Jaeger.
This is where the Chinese women just dazzle you. Look at the form, execution,
phenomenal
technique.
So far.
No form breaks. Every release precise.
The Chinese definitely set the standard for quality and polish on this event.
All of those pirouetting skills need to finish as close to the handstand as possible. Oh,
wow.
Isn't that something?
Well.
Wow. He Ning. She's put on the team because of her stability and leadership qualities, according to the coaches Liu Shanjian and the rest of their coaching staff, and they really felt that this is what she brings to the team, and they need some consistency now after having a less than spectacular start on the vault. Remember, every team is in the same boat in terms of 3 up, 3 count. As we go over and pick up the score for Aisling Williams on the floor. Disappointment there for Great Britain. He Ning on the bars was really something. 14.6 was her score in the first day of competition, and she was the all-around champion at the 2006 Asian Games. Jade Barbosa will be up for Brazil on the vault.
Jade is 16 years old from Rio de Janeiro.
Fourth in the all-around at this summer's Pan American Games, but she was the gold medalist on the vault, so this is where she shines. Her score was a 15.95 in the qualifying round. Going to go for a very difficult vault, 6.5 points degree of difficulty or start value. 2.5 twister and a nice landing. That was great.
That was outstanding.
Now that was the vault that Cheng Fei from China brought to the world in many respects, although she wasn't the first to do it. She was probably the best to do it, but that was really something.
Jade is one of the only gymnasts in this competition who's going to perform this vault. It's extremely hard. And a blind landing.
You're not kidding, and she just drilled it. It was as if completely confident throughout. Score 15.275 for He Ning, China, on the bars. Now the scores on the bars are a little bit hard to follow, I have to admit. Russia started there, and they had a couple of, let's say, form breaks and execution errors, and their scores were quite high. So we'll see if those bars scores stay consistent or not. Semyonova, who did an incredible bar routine, now on the beam.
Small check on the switch leap. Nice front aerial. Like handspring layout to a 2 feet. Ksenia scored a 15.3 in the qualification round on this event. Small bubble check on the full turn there. A nodi. Two-way back handspring 3/4.
You notice somewhat of a sparse crowd in the background. The German women did not qualify to this session, and however, the German men are in contention for a team medal. I expect that during the men's team final, this place will be packed. It was unbearably loud in the qualifying rounds for the German performers.
Beautiful run up the little pike dismount. Great routine.
Yeah, she's fun to watch. She really has the whole package: the power, the technique, form, execution. It's a tricky connection when you do an aerial forward and then connect a back series. Most gymnasts are using that these days to get connection. If you break the momentum, you lose the possibility of getting connection bonus. I always thought it was really strange to do a forward to a backward move and still connect it somehow.
As long as there's movement, as long as you continue movement with the arms and legs simultaneously, they will consider it a connection and give the bonus.
15.925, great score for Barbosa on that 2.5 twisting Yurchenko. That is just really spectacular, high level of difficulty and precise. Chinese athletes prepping the bars. Every athlete has their own combination of how they like them. A little water, a little chalk, a little spin. How did you like it, Tatcha?
I actually like my bars pretty loose.
Yeah, you can set the tension on them, right? You
That's
like
right.
Them a little loose,
little
right?
loose, and then sanding the bar so there's not too much chalk. With the grip, sometimes it feels a little thick. Hard to hold on.
Yang Yilin.
Beautiful inverted giants. She's got great extension. Tkachev.
Oh,
wow.
Isn't that aggressive? We've come to expect from the Chinese nothing but perfection here, but I have to admit, for the judges, they're looking at how close they hit these handstands on all these pirouetting skills. And if you're a little over, boy, you're going to get the deduction. Oh, that was nice.
Oh, that was huge. Beautiful Jaeger. Oh! Ran out of gas there at the end.
Boy, they're just masters here. This is just so fun to watch. The Chinese national all-around champion and their top gymnast on the uneven bars. Wow. Yulia Lozhechko from Russia now. She's 17 from Bryansk. She's coached by her mother, Olga Shirikova. We thought we'd see her last year at the World Championships, but in the podium training, just days before the competition, she broke fingers. Well, she was preparing. Oh, wasn't that lovely?
It's really cool,
Kick
actually.
over front to one leg. I liked it.
It's nice with the new code of points. We're seeing a lot of different variations of skills.
Good point. As much as we gripe about this new scoring system, I have to say that it does force the athletes to do a more complete repertoire of skills, variety of moves, and so in many ways it does really expose who is a true master of the event. You can't just milk one style of skill. You have to really have a complete balance of movements.
In the qualification, Yulia scored a 15.525.
She's very good at those kick over fronts, kick over side summies. European champion on the beam this year. She had trouble in the prelims on the dismount.
Wow.
But not now.
That was a very solid routine.
2 years ago, we saw her in the finals in Melbourne on the beam. Placed 7th. Russia doing a very good job after a strong start on the bars. Very, very happy with their performances on the balance beam. Boy, there's such a sense of relief when the whole team has gone through beam and everybody hit. You can see it on their faces that they're home free now. Did you have that sense when you were competing?
Oh, man.
Once you get past beam, you're all right?
Yeah, beam is the make it or break it event. And literally, it's the only event where it's like, let's just get this over with. As soon as you get over with, you almost feel like the entire meet's over and you're done because you're done with beam.
You saw the score there for Yang Yiling. So far, the Chinese have looked good, but not perfect. Some shaky landings on vault, and even here, when you need a stick, a big step like that is at least 0.3 of a point deduction. Ksenia Semyonova, 15.675. Very nice score on the beam. So Russia opened up with the bars and has followed up on the balance beam with 3 spectacular routines, clean execution. Even a little bobble there, but she sold it. Lozhechko's score of 15.75. So Russia will have the lead as we go to the second half of the second rotation.
WCSN brings you another defining moment from the championship corner.
We are at the 2007 FINA World Championships with Kate Ziegler going for gold. Let's go poolside.
Look at the two leaders. They are fighting tooth and nail for the gold medal here. The white cap of Laure Manadou of France. The black cap of Kate Ziegler of the United States. She won't give up though, Ziegler. Will not give up at all. Manadou, the sprint from Ziegler. Ziegler it is, trying to get over the top. Manadou starting to tire now, and Ziegler it is who's finishing stronger. Ziegler, Manadou, stroke for stroke. Ziegler will get there. The United States win another gold medal. Ziegler, championship record. Manadou takes a silver in an epic encounter. They don't have to be